All right. So this is Raw and NXT reviews, and I just want to jump straight into NXT. You know what? I just want to jump straight into NXT, just based on how Raw went. I want to jump straight into NXT for real, but I gotta talk about Raw. So we're gonna talk about Raw. This was the June 14th edition. Actually, I should turn that down. Give me a sec. All right. This is the June 14th edition of Raw. So, based off of the title of the video, I'm going to talk about how Naomi deserves better. I'm going to talk about, obviously, the go-home show for this Raw. Then I will jump to NXT, and I will talk about the goodness in that show. So, we first start off with Nikki Cross versus Charlotte Flair. But before we even get to that match, we open up with Alexa Bliss talking about what happened last week with Shayna Baszler. So I guess Shayna Baszler is still alive. Nia Jax went to Alexa Bliss and talked to her about, I guess, a match or just the weirdness, like how she's weird and how they used to be friends, all that. But Nia Jax did fill us in that Alexa Bliss will be taking on Shayna Baszler at Hell in a Cell, which is weird to me because why? Why is that match even considered? Like, who in their right mind thought it'd be okay to just put that match down? And the reason it's bad is because, of course, it's not fitting. It's not. Especially when you have Alexa Bliss, who has this now, I guess, hypnotizing possession power. If you saw on Raw during the match of Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. But I guess Alexa Bliss is going to take on Nia Jax later on. So you got that match to look forward to. But still, like, come on, WWE. You're not even being creative. Like, nope. Like, Alexa Bliss back then when Bray Wyatt was there, that was fun. We got into a twist to her character, but now, like, we went from Twisted Bliss to Crazy Bliss to now she's the Fiend Bliss to why in the is this still going? But let's move on. Nikki Cross beat Charlotte Flair via countout. This is bad. That's how we're gonna start off Raw with countout? With a countout Raw? You kidding me? I want to explain why the countout occurred, because Rhea Ripley basically distracted Charlotte simply by just staring at her. Rhea Ripley just comes out as Charlotte was on the outside in the beginning, and you had her and Nikki. You obviously had Charlotte and Nikki fight, and then Rhea Ripley came out and freaking distracted Flair. So I don't know what in the fuck that was, but Rhea Ripley just, I guess, decided to sit at ringside and watch this match thoroughly. But I guess Charlotte was too distracted by Rhea that Nikki Cross obviously crawled back into the ring, and Charlotte just stayed outside for a count of 10. WWE, you need to be creative, and you need to start either doing pins or submissions. Or if the WWE creative is literally anybody from WWE is watching this stream, I'm telling you, I knew this match was coming. I said this match. You guys can even go look at You guys can go look at Raw and NXT review last week. I feel like I said Nikki Cross would take out Charlotte. That's what they're gonna do. but the ending's gonna be probably stupid. And well, this is it. This is what I'm talking about. Stupidness. Why can't you have a submission or a pin? Like again, WWE matches are strictly set to have pinfall or submission. When you're not pinning somebody or you're not submitting somebody, it's either going to end in disqualification or count out. And those are only those little things, those disqualifications, those count outs, those should only be used in a they should be used properly. This was not used properly. How I could explain how it could be used properly. Of course, you have the match go on for a good not about 8 minutes, okay? But you have to build, but you have to have some build before this match, okay? You have to have this match built before anything. You have to have the build. They didn't have no build. So if there's no build, then that means that there should be no reason why you can't have Nikki Cross pin Charlotte. Or the other way around. Or have Charlotte submit Nikki Cross. But no, I guess WWE is building Nikki Cross up a little bit. That's why she's getting because it looks like she's getting a push. She's winning all her matches. But they're from stupid, I guess it's luck. I really think it's luck. This is nonsense. You know how I feel about nonsense. I'm a logical predictor. Nonsense is no logic. There's no logic behind this. So why in the fuck is Nikki Cross winning matches out of this is nonsense. This is highly nonsense. But I knew this match was going to come. And I said Charlotte should have won. Give her the push. Well, now I'm thinking, well, since Charlotte lost her match because of a count out, they really want people to start, thinking, oh, Rhea Ripley going to win? Oh, is Charlotte going to win? Well, on Saturday, I'll give you my prediction. And I'll tell you what it is. I think I kind of said it too, and I gave an example. But I'm going to give you right now my winner for this match at Hell in a Cell. It is Rhea Ripley. That is the call on the match right now. That could change. You just keep an eye on my Twitter. Obviously, the logical predictor. And obviously, it's a logical predictor with one R because I couldn't fit the O. So you can check me out on Twitter. I'm on there. And usually when there's NXT, I'm usually on there from 8 to 10. So, especially on Raw, 8 to 10 is where I go from. So I'll start tweeting on there. I'll start to be more active on Twitter. So check me out. But looking at it, I guess it's a takeaway. I guess WWE is trying to take away Charlotte's momentum, which could mean that Charlotte could be winning at Hell in a Cell. I do not know, but my logic says that if Charlotte is winning at Hell in a Cell, then that must mean that Rhea Ripley will get some sort of rematch either on the next episode of Raw or somewhat of a rematch at Money in the Bank. But why do that? So my idea, really in logic form, is Rhea Ripley retains at Hell in a Cell. We can do Charlotte in the Money in the Bank ladder match. We can have Nikki Cross take on Rhea Ripley because Nikki Cross has beat Rhea Ripley, so I mean she kind of gets a title opportunity. And honestly, any way you look at it, Nikki Cross still beat Rhea Ripley. Whether it was the beat the clock challenge, whether it was in the form of the tag team match last week. Who pinned who? Nikki Cross pinned Rhea Ripley last week. And you know what WWE says when they say this, but you know what WWE does when there's, when someone pins the champion in the form of a singles or a tag team match, they get an opportunity. So, you want to keep this story going? But also, Nikki Cross has also beat Charlotte too. So, you could have Charlotte versus Nikki Cross at Money in the Bank for the title. But that'd be stupid because there's because Charlotte didn't have the title at the time. So to put the title on her now and have Nikki Cross said, "Well, I beat you," that's pointless. At that point, it's pointless because obviously Nikki Cross's point is invalid because Charlotte wasn't the champion. So how can you be like, well, it's my turn to face for the championship? No, it's pointless. Your Nikki Cross's point would be invalid. So to get off of this topic, Rhea Ripley should retain at Hell in a Cell. She should face Nikki Cross at Money in the Bank. Charlotte should go into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Charlotte should actually, if she is in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I have 2 predictions for that, and both from Raw and SmackDown. And I will get to my rules. I think when we're done with Hell in a Cell and we move to Money in the Bank, I will have a live stream for you guys, and I will explain some things, because obviously there are some pay-per-views where I tend to do rules. Okay, and I think I've explained this in my first live stream about matches and how I do it. So I will give you the rules for how I predict Money in the Bank. Okay, and I've done this two times in a year when it happened. So, and it makes it more thorough for me to do it. But I will explain why my rules kind of shift with the Money in the Bank. So let's get off of this. Nikki Cross defeats Charlotte, but you count out. It sucks. Makes no sense. Moving on. John Morrison defeated Jeff Hardy. He hit the Starship Pain. Done. I guess the Miz is injured, but Morrison just continued to beat Hardy. So what's more interesting is that Cedric came out. He came out and he, I guess, watched the match and then went to measures that I've never seen before of just trying to verbally bully Hardy. So after Cedric got the mic and complained about losing to Hardy last week, Cedric wanted to put Hardy in a retirement home. Well, Hardy came back and said, "Oh, well, I'm going to put my career on the line." You know how that turned out. But why? Hardy did not have to put his career on the line. He just didn't. He didn't have to. But I guess WWE wanted him to, so that the audience knows that they're not letting go of Hardy. It's simply how to put it. They're not letting go of him. Because if they let go of him, he's going to AEW. His brother. And God, if that ever happened. Like I said, he could be released. But I guess WWE did plan to shut that little theory down. So I guess Hardy defeated Cedric. And after hitting him with a Swanton Bomb. So here's what makes no sense. Hardy beats Cedric twice. This week and last week. Where the hell is Sheldon? Where is he? Where in the hell is he? Where is Sheldon? He's nowhere to be. But you had Cedric beat Sheldon twice. Now you're having Hardy beat Cedric. So it's like after Cedric had a lot to say to Sheldon, you had Hardy be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to put this man in his place." Twice. 2 times. I don't know. I like the match. It was alright. But come up with stuff. Come up with something. So obviously, Hardy's not done in wrestling yet. Hardy's not going to AEW yet. WWE's not releasing him yet. And I don't think they plan to. We'll just have to find out and see. Before I get to this match, I need to explain where Sheamus is. He did send a photo out. Obviously, he's at home taking a break. But where the hell is Ricochet? Where the hell is Humberto Carrillo? Where are they? And if they were on Raw, they need to be in Adam Pearce's office talking about, well, who gets to face Sheamus? because they were nowhere seen. They were just like, well, we're just going to take that off because if we do this match, people are going to think we're rematching everything. Well, you're already doing that, Raw. You're already rematching everything. You had Cedric and Hardy do their match again, like you did last week. You're doing Nikki Cross and Charlotte again, since you already did that in the Beat the Clock Challenge, but you already did that. You did Asuka versus Rhea Ripley 3 times, one at WrestleMania, one for the title rematch, and this time. So you're not coming up with anything. You're not. You're rematching. It's on a loop. Raw is on a loop every single week with some new elements we just throw in there. So it's like a circle, okay? Small little cycle. You just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items in there, and then you throw another new thing in there. We're placing out, we're taking out, and we're putting back in. We're just having the whole loop go back and forth, back and forth. That's how it is. It sucks. It's stupid. Change it. This is what I've been wanting to talk about today. And I had it on Twitter, and I even said it on Twitter, and people liked it. Okay? A lot of people liked what I said about this. We finally got to see Eva Marie come back. Okay? Was I pleased to see Eva Marie come back? Of course. I mean, she's been gone for a very long time. She's been gone for more than 1 year. So to have her come back is great. And to have her take on Naomi? Great. Okay. Obviously, in this match, I knew Naomi was going to lose. And even if Eva Marie was to take on Naomi, I feel like Eva Marie would have won because that's exactly what they wanted to do. They want Eva Marie. They don't want to push her. They want to just have a match and have her win. Okay. Eva Marie versus Naomi. Good match. Yeah. Did it happen? No. It didn't happen. You know why? Because Eva's friend, Piper Nivens, by the way, decided to take on Naomi for her. Yep. Piper Nivens, if you don't know her, if you haven't watched the May, well, actually, I haven't. I didn't even know who it was. So I had to find out people telling me to do that. Now, commentators acted like they didn't even know. So here's the bad part. Obviously, the commentators weren't doing their jobs. You're supposed to know who superstars are. If I don't know, and you're acting like, who is this? Oh my God, who is this? How am I supposed to know who the hell that is? And for those who do know who she is, how do they know who that is? And the commentators are just like, oh, this mysterious person. The commentators are not doing their jobs. So, Piper Nivens, congratulations on the match. I want to just first congratulate her. And please, on Twitter, just stop with the body shaming, man. Just stop it. Just stop. Like, just stop it. Okay? Honestly, I want to talk about why Naomi deserves better. And that's what I'm going to do right here in this little state in here. So I'm going to throw that into there and how Naomi deserves better, of course. So, the match itself, I do like. But WWE went WWE. And the problem is that Naomi deserves better. And the reason for this is because they didn't even have her face Eva Marie. So that's one bad. That's one down. Like, it's like a it's like someone, it's like a promise. Or it's you say you're going to do something, but you don't do it. Okay? They said they were going to do Eva Marie versus Naomi. They didn't do Eva Marie versus Naomi. They did Piper Nivens versus Naomi. The commentators acted like they didn't even know who the hell she was. Though I didn't know who she was, it would have been nice if the commentators knew who they were or knew who she was. So I could know who the hell she is. So like, okay, Piper Nivens. Probably think back, probably look up her name. I had to look her up and see who the hell she was. But I congratulated her on her match. Thank you, Piper Nivens, for a good match with Naomi. But Piper Nivens, me and the WWE Universe, and I speak for them, I speak for the fans of wrestling, as much as you are a good wrestler, I don't think that's what we wanted to see. We wanted Eva Marie, and we were told Eva Marie was going to face Naomi. That did not happen. So why in the hell did we not get that match? Well, I can't tell you why. I don't know why. That's the problem. I can't tell you because I don't know. I wish I did. But I want to say that it's because Eva Marie's afraid to step back in the ring again because a malfunction may happen. I'll crack jokes like that too. But please, just congratulations to Piper Nivens. But don't body shame her. Don't. We want love. Only love. No hate. Throw that hate out the door. It's all about that positivity. Okay? But Naomi deserves better. She really does. Like I even said, she's a talented wrestler. She's a very talented wrestler, and she deserves more. She deserves better. She literally can match up. Her skills can match up to Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, and that's where I think she should be. She should be in the women's title picture, especially after Lana's release. She should be in that women's title picture. She really should. But no, that's not what we're doing. I guess we're putting her in the area of mid card. Women's wrestling, which sucks. It really does. It's Garbo. Now, obviously, I think after this beating from Piper Niven's beating Naomi, I think we got a little photo shoot and this little, I guess, promo segment with, Natalia Tamina, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooks. So I want to explain. I love Natalia. I love Tamina. I love Dana Brooks. And I love Mandy Rose. They're all talented in their own way. But that segment, that little photo shoot promo, that whole little fucking segment, that shit was absolutely pointless. Now, the only thing that was there was Natalia and Tamina acting like they're the best. They're in the ring, they're wrestling, they're sparring, trying to make sure, when they come up with the next challengers, okay, yada, yada. Well, you got these women who are trying to do a photo shoot, they hop into the ring, try to take them on, school them, but they get schooled themselves, and it turns into a whole beating. It's pointless. It was pointless. There was no reason for that. There's no need for that. And we didn't even see them last week. So what the fuck? That's how you know it's pointless. You might as well just not did that segment. You would have probably just, what should have happened was you just do a little promo. You could have done it with the champions to solidify that they are still champions. They're still there, I feel like I'm lagging. Am I lagging? I'm just going to wait until this reconnects. Give me a sec, guys. Hold on. Something is going on. Okay. All right. So that segment put out the door. Let's move to some good action, something worth watching. RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle taking on The New Day. I'm okay with this, personally. I love this match. It was so good. Even the surprise roll up with the RKO, that was awesome. And there are a lot of people like that on Twitter. This match was worth watching. I suggest you guys go and watch it. Also, if you guys want the ups and downs of Raw, Watch Culture Got You. Right down in the description below. You can go check that out. But RK Bro became victorious in their tag team match against the New Day. And this was actually pretty fine. This was great action, great match. Everything about it was perfect. I loved it. It was great. Now, we go to Rhea Ripley and Asuka. Obviously, Rhea Ripley defeats Asuka. And, well, and this was after the fact of Flair costing her the match against Nikki earlier. So Rhea Ripley overcame Asuka, having some momentum into Hell in a Cell with Charlotte with none. So that kind of tells me that maybe Charlotte might just be winning. So I will have to balance it out. I will let you guys know. Again, I will update you guys on my predictions on Twitter. I didn't do it for Backlash, but I already told you on here. That's why I was right. So I'm going to try to keep you guys updated on Twitter. And if I'm wrong, okay, obviously, I'm a logical predictor. I try to use logic, but the build up to this match made no sense to me. So again, it's not working. It's not helping. So Rhea Ripley again defeated Asuka, but then we got into a brawl. Charlotte Flair came out in a outfit, not in a ring gear, outfit, and just attacked Rhea. So you had her wrestle, then go get changed, just to come out and beat up or start a brawl with Rhea. What the fuck, WWE? You might as well have kept her in her outfit and fucking had her just wrestle. Or spar with fucking Rhea. Then you had all these women, then you just took forever just to get these fucking guys and the referees and all the backstage personnel just get out here to do something. But I guess that's how it's going to be. And we got Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. And guess how this ended? This ended in a disqualification. Because after Alexa Bliss hit the Twisted Bliss, which is from the top rope to the body, Reginald came in and he broke it up. He broke up Alexa Bliss from pinning Nia Jax, caused disqualification, and Alexa Bliss then possessed or manipulated, or you could say mind controlled Reginald. Because first, just manipulating like that. And then you have Nia Jax going, Reginald, snap out of it. Pointless. Nonsense. Hate it. Let's move on. I feel like this was after this match. I didn't watch anything after this match. I was done. After this, I would turn off the TV. I was done. Fuck this. But I'm going to tell you, I watched some of the little segments, so I can tell you what happened next. I want to talk about this next little segment here, which I loved. And I think we're setting this up for Money in the Bank. So this is what I'm going to think of Money in the Bank. So this means that at Hell in a Cell, Bobby Lashley is retaining. Drew McIntyre is done with his title match. That's done. We're going to get Kofi versus Bobby Lashley again. We're going to get Kofi versus Bobby Lashley again at Money in the Bank for the WWE title. Because MVP talked about how Kofi, giving him an offer to join them, and MVP talked about how Kofi's nothing without the New Day, without Xavier Woods, Or he's nothing with Xavier Woods, my bad, my mistake. He's nothing with Xavier Woods. And then, obviously Kofi fired back and said that I'd do this for my family, for my friends. If it was not for them, I wouldn't have been WWE champion. And MVP obviously let it be, but he hit him with a subtle jab. It was like a little mini jab, and it was, well, good luck at your match at Money in the Bank or at Hell in a Cell. Oh, that's right. You don't have a match at Hell in a Cell. So I guess we're getting Kofi versus Bobby at Money in the Bank. Hopefully that's the case. Kofi won't win. I'm just saying that right now. But I would like WWE to push Kofi into momentum territory for getting his rematch. That'd be really nice. But then we got to another match. And I don't know if this is the case, if Kofi decides to join her business and they make Xavier Woods go solo, it would be nice for him to go in the United States title picture and win the US title. It'd be nice. But they could have more of a directional push for Monsoon, who hasn't been shown on Raw, with Ali or at all either. So I don't know about that. We had Jackson Rikers and Elias, again, from last week. Another rematch. And it ended in the same way. It ended in a freaking countout. My God. WWE, how are you going to keep this up? Why can't you finish matches properly? Why can't you just do a pin? Why can't you just have a submission? Why does it have to be a count out? Why does it have to be a disqualification? Same thing again. They literally made Elias go away. Halfway into the match, walked out. Nothing. You just nonsense. He decided to walk away. And I can't get behind Rikers. I'm sorry. As much as you want me, as much as you put him in his babyface, I can't get behind him. I can't, especially with his outside with what happened with what happened outside of the WWE. I can't get behind him at all. I can't. I really I just can't. So either you end the feud, either you end the feud as it is, or you just fucking like switch roles. Have Elias be the face. But it's hard when you have him literally walk out of a match. Well, see ya. I'm just gonna get my paycheck and leave. Fucking ridiculous. And it doesn't stop there because we got to our main event. Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Okay, I thought it was gonna be a good match. I like him in the ring together. So this is good. But I can't say the same thing for its ending. Because it ended in a disqualification. This is bullshit. Because though the Almighty was at ringside or on the stage watching, Drew and AJ were just having their all good little bout until the Almighty came out and laid out the fucking challenger. Yep, Bobby came in, just wrecked this motherfucker. He just wrecked Drew McIntyre. But that's when we got the Viking Raiders. Yeah! The Viking Raiders came out, and they teamed up with Drew. They squad up. It was Drew McIntyre, the Viking Raiders, versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Almas. And surprisingly, we had Drew McIntyre and the Viking Raiders win because Drew needs momentum. Okay? But you could have, if that was the case, you could have just had Drew versus AJ Styles and had Drew won. Which, yeah, Drew did win against AJ Styles by disqualification, but still, you didn't have to do this whole 6-man tag team match shit. You didn't have to. You really didn't have to. Like, that was not the plan. You really didn't have to do that. But you did it anyway. Drew McIntyre ended it. You can actually call this a controversial finish, too. I think that's what Watch Culture did. Controversial finish. Because Drew McIntyre, Claymore kicked Bobby Lashley after AJ Styles tagged him in. And it wasn't by accident, because Almas was going to get tagged in. Almas wanted to get tagged in. But Almas, I noticed that they talked about how Almas just he had him, and then they went to commercial, and then we come back, and then Almas is back out of the ring. So like they really don't want to show Almas's in-ring work because Almas is just too big. Like they think I guess WWE thinks he's a sloppy wrestler. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's true, but it seems that way if you're literally like having him in the ring, and then when you come back to commercial break, you just have him stand out, out of the ring. So like I don't know. So Drew McIntyre and the Viking Raiders defeated Bobby, AJ, and Almas, which sets up momentum for Drew, meaning Drew's gonna lose, but he gets momentum. So I don't know what's gonna happen in LSL. This Raw sucked, like it did. We'll keep going because it's in a loop. It's going in a loop, and we're just gonna throw the same things that we had last weekend. Well, take some of the things out and then put other things that we need to do. So it's just like loop city. Okay. Yep. Okay. Put that in there. Done. Sloppiness. Thank God I'm done with Raw. That was Raw for you. That was Raw. And then we got now Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss set for LNSL. Let's move to the good. Oh my God, I've been wanting to talk about this to you guys. It is time for NXT review. Let's get to it right now. This was the June 15th edition of NXT. June 15th, 2021. 2 months. 2 months since a certain someone was released from the company. On April 15th, 2021, a certain superstar, a certain commentator at WrestleMania, a certain commentator on Raw was released. But 2 months later, he returns. It is your Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, returns to the black and gold brand. This is what I've been waiting for. William Regal talked about change. He talked about all of his goods and his bad things. He talked about all of what he's done for the company. Obviously, he's talked about how he went into his hometown with his niece, and his niece got to see what he's accomplished, what he has done in the black and gold brand, what he's done as general manager, and he doesn't know if he could keep going with this, and everything out of control. Karrion Kross interrupted him and came out and talked about how Regal hasn't been in control at all, how Regal is just letting shit go out of hand, over the railings, everything here and there, and just no respect to the general manager, just no respect at all. And Karrion Kross wanted one thing. He wanted William Regal to say that Karrion Kross was right. That Karrion Kross was right. That everything's out of hand. And you know what? I think William Regal knows that Karrion Kross is right. I'll even say for William Regal, Karrion Kross is right. But he's wrong about one thing. He is wrong for if he thinks that William Regal is just going to walk out of that building. He's going to walk out on NXT. He's wrong if he thinks that William Regal will give up this brand for sloppiness, for making sure things are in order. But before he could even say that, Samoa freaking Joe comes back. He comes back, he hops in the ring, he talks about how Regal, his recent state of disarray on NXT, and how obviously, he wanted to talk about whatever it was backstage. William Regal told Joe that we should have done this backstage, but he wanted to do it. But Joe wanted it out here. But William Regal wanted to give up his managing. He wanted to give up the general manager position and give it to Joe. Well, that's not going to happen. Because Samoa Joe absolutely denied this offer. And this was the best denial that Joe ever made. This was the turning point because Joe decided, you know what? The reason I'm not going to do it is because I'm not going to be general manager is because though I've been in this company, though I've been in this business, since I've been on this black and gold brand, and since I've obviously made your life kind of hell, I've always had respect for you. I've always gave respect back. Though I might have caused misery for you, I still respect you, and I still respected you. And that's what I'm set out to do. So, Regal, I want to help you get this company back into order. So, Joe has decided to be an assistant. You guys know this, kind of like Corporate Kane and Baron Corbin, that type of shit. But this is different than what you think Baron Corbin, and it makes Baron Corbin and Kane look like fucking dicks. It makes them look like shit. Like if you know their jobs, they look like shit. Like Baron Corbin was supposed to be the Corporate King, but this role for Samoa Joe, this is better. He's not no bodyguard. He's an assistant. He's an assistant who likes to get his hands dirty. But this is what Joe wanted. He wanted to be the assistant. So I'm not going to take that away from him because I like his position and I like his role. What's his position? His position is a hard-nosed assistant who does not fear to get his hands dirty when provoked. Yep. Believe it or not, Samoa Joe was given two little things. He was given two rules that what he cannot do. Obviously, The first one is that since Samoa Joe is going to be assistant, he cannot compete. He is not a competitor. So he cannot compete whatsoever. Karrion Kross can use that to his advantage, try to egg on Joe. But Joe cannot compete, so that is perfectly fine with me, especially with the fans too. But Karrion Kross will probably use that in some shape or form and aspect. The second thing, before Karrion Kross was about to be very happy when Real Amigo said that he cannot put his hands on any superstars, on anyone. He cannot put his hands on anyone. And Karrion Kross was happy until Regal said, unless provoked, meaning that if anyone is to put their hands on Joe, Joe has every right to get his hands dirty, and we know what he can do. You don't believe me? Well, there's a segment where Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole were both in the back trying to feud. Regal came in and stepped up and said, "You know what? I'm done with this. You two are going to fight a Great American Bash. I think an unsanctioned match they're going to have again for the title at once and for all. But since you guys really want to fight next week, you guys can choose your competitor. You can choose your people." And then Kyle O'Reilly went on the attack on Cole after Cole said, Regal, you suck. I don't know how to run this brand at all. Da 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 da. But this was after we had our match with Breeze, Dango, and Imperium. So let me get to that before we jump to what Samoa Joe can do. Walter, if you don't know who Walter is, he's the NXT UK champion. But Walter likely would not be happy if Imperium's performance Imperium's performance after Breezango, Tyler Breeze and Breezango. Congratulations to those men. I love Breeze's work with Fandango as well. After they picked up a little victory over both Imperium's Fabian Archer and Marco Barthel. But they had the last laugh after they obviously attacked, did a pre-match assault on both Breeze and Fandango. So, I don't know. I think this was a good match. I love that Breezango got the victory with the surprise roll-up. But, yeah. Regal announced Cole O'Reilly 2 for Great American Bash. And this is what happened. It says, Regal continued the eventful night with the blockbuster announcement that Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole will face each other in a straight-up wrestling match, unsanctioned, unless that was their match, there, but it's a straight-up wrestling match, Great American Bash, with security unable to separate them both. Joe came in, stepped in, tried to rip them apart. As he did, he pushed Kyle O'Reilly back into the gate, but Adam Cole was not done. Joe turned around, Adam Cole shoved Joe out of the way and went back on Cole. And what did Regal say? Joe cannot put his hands on anybody unless provoked. Adam Cole pushed Joe, shoved Joe out of the way. Adam Cole touched Joe, so Joe had every right to get his hands dirty. Joe then made short work of Cole by applying the coquina clutch until he was neutralized, saying at the end, when he wakes up, you better tell him. When he wakes up, he better accept what Regal said. He didn't say it like that, but obviously how I said it is summarize what happened. So we get that. So you know what Joe can do. He can't compete, but he can put his hands on. He can put his hands on you if you put your hands on him. Well, I'm pointing to me. So if I put my hands on him, he's gonna come after me. But I'm not gonna put my hands on him because I don't want to get choked out. We had Kushida defend his title in an open challenge against Trey Baxter. Kushida coming up with a victory, but not before O'Reilly came down to the ring and watched this match. And after the match, O'Reilly stepped in the ring and challenged Kushida to a match next week. And O'Reilly took the offer and decided, you know what? Okay, that's my match. And we got some tensions between wrestlers. Obviously, Samoa Joe did make some tensions between him and the NXT champion. He actually made his tensions felt with Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. And later down the road, we got to the end of the show, which I will talk about after. But after this match, it was a pretty good match. So next week, we're going to get O'Reilly versus Kushida. LA Knight assaulted Ted DiBiase. Unfortunately, LA Knight turned on Ted DiBiase after winning it and decided, he's the $1 Million Man. Punching him in the face, obviously. LA Knight was the winner, but he wasn't really good with it, with the title. He just took it and says he's the $1 Million Man now. Ha 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 ha. Cameron Grimes ran down and fought off Knight, but not before Knight did the significant damage to the Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man. LA Knight, though, won, and I was wrong about the prediction. I still think if this match is to be set up for Great American Bash, Cameron Grimes should win that title back. He should win that title, and he should be the $1 Million Man. He should carry it on, because Cameron Grimes can do it. He can. He's the little engine. He thinks he can. And we, the universe, we know he can. So, Cameron Grimes, if you get that match at a Great American Bash, defeat LA Knight, take that title, and praise the person who held it before. Don't praise LA Knight. Praise the $1 Million Man and his legacy. Carry it. Hold on to that title. Make it worth $1 million. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai defeated Casey and Kaden. This match was so fucking great, especially the high-flying action. It was just so great. But Dakota Kai hit the go-to kick and got a victory over both Casey and Kaden. This was beautiful. This was a beautiful tag team match, little women tag team match. I loved it. It was so great. Ooh, we got what we wanted. We really got what we wanted. I loved it. It was fashionably done. Io Shirai was then to talk about who her next target, I guess, is. And we got Io Shirai and Candice LeRae coming out. Candice LeRae came out and interrupted her. And we had Indy Hartwell to also attack Io. But then we got a little help from Zoe Stark. So, WWE, or NXT, has decided not to go with Poppy versus, I guess, it's Poppy and Io taking on the, for the tag team titles. I guess we have Candice and Indy are going to take on Io and Zoe Stark. Or not Zoe Stark, my mistake. So, pretty good match. I loved it. I love it so much. I think it's a pretty good match. I feel like my internet's acting up a little bit. I don't know. My internet's acting I'm lagging or so. Very sorry if that is occurring. But to go back to this, Candice LeRae and Indy obviously did proceed with their attack on Io. Zoe Stark came out and helped her out. So I guess they're not doing Poppy and Io versus Indy and Candice. They're gonna do Zoe Stark and Io versus Candice and Hartwell. Hopefully at Great American Bash. Nothing confirmed yet. This is just a prediction. I think that could happen in the future. Okay. But these two fought off the way, and they were the only two standing tall. So we could see Io and Zoe Stark team up. So I don't know. Before this, we were supposed to get an interview with Joe and Regal. We didn't get that because it got to black. But we did get to see Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa take some popcorn. I said, grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher defeat Grizzly Young Veterans in this Tornado Tag Team match, and it was great. I loved it. Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa picked up the victory over them, but let's talk before this. Before we got to this, before this match, we got to see Samoa Joe and William Regal in the room. We saw the way going Joe. So we saw Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, and Joe made the little obvious get out of here. Like, this is his room. Get out of my room type little thing to him. So he was like he was like he was just asking questions, and then Joe was like, "Well, I got a question. What are you still doing here?" type thing. So he's like, "Just get out." I got something to say. Get out. just get out of here. Get out of here. That is how literally they wanted to do it. Okay. But this ending tag team match was so great. It was good. I loved it. They locked in their little combination of the ankle lock and the Fujiwara armbar, which they made Mr. Who was it? They made tap out. They made James Drake tap out, ending the tag team match. And towards the end, we got to see Regal and Joe go home, and we got a comment on what's obviously how does he feel? Regal feel? It feels like it's getting better, and this is the start. And these are more starts to come moving forward to make sure everything is in order. So I love Joe's character. Joe's position is literally assistant. Again, I said it before. His position is the assistant who is not able to compete, but is able to get his hands dirty if provoked. Best way to sum it up. I like this NXT, and it was well scouted. It was well on the mark. I loved it. I love what we're going to do moving forward. I can't wait to see if Joe gets his hands a little bit more dirty. We got also some little trailer of the Diamond Mine opening next week. So I don't know what that's going to be. But again, we got some matches for next week. We got Kushida versus Kyle O'Reilly. We're going to get Adam Cole versus somebody. We're probably going to get Martinez and someone else because we got a promo with them. We're probably going to get something with Frankie Monte. So a lot of things are going to happen next week. I'm excited for next week on NXT. I'm excited. Really am. But that brings us to the end of NXT. But I want to talk about Joe here too. So, obviously, I was reading this too as it was coming up. While the former NXT champion said he couldn't accept Regal's offer to take his duties as general manager, he was happy to offer a service in a different way. As an assistant who isn't afraid to get his hands dirty, we didn't have a long wait to see how hands-on Joe was, with obviously putting Cole into the coquina clutch. Like I said before, he put him into the coquina clutch because he pushed him. So I love that Joe is back. Honestly, we should get a comment of Joe. And when I saw Joe come back, and when I saw Joe, I was out of my chair. I was like, yeah, baby. Whoa. I was hyped up. I was happy. I was clapping. I was fired up to see Joe back. Because I feel like Samoa Joe could defeat, though he might be shorter, than Karrion Kross. Is kind of big, and he's athletic. Samoa, I always kind of felt like if anybody's going to defeat Karrion Kross, I feel like it's going to be someone from back then. I feel like Finn Balor couldn't do it. So if anybody, I feel like Samoa Joe could probably defeat Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. But it's going to take somebody from back then to defeat Karrion Kross. And that's what I feel like. I feel like someone from back then in NXT is going to be able to defeat Karrion Kross. That being Samoa Joe, probably. And I would respect that. So I guess as the assistant, we're going to have, and I feel like this is a stalling period too. With Samoa Joe being an assistant, I feel like this is a stalling period to make sure we have Samoa Joe healed up and better. So then when Karrion Kross provokes Samoa Joe, we can see them brawl. And then William Regal will put Joe into this match. and we could see Joe return in-ring action from him when he's medically cleared and ready to wrestle. I can't wait for that to happen. I feel like that's what they're going to do. But again, Triple H doesn't like when people talk about, where's this person going to go? So again, one thing I'm just going to say what I feel, and that is I feel like Samoa Joe is going to be a great assistant. His position is going to be so well, and when he's medically cleared, I'd hope he gets hope he gets some in-ring, work at some point after he's done assisting and making sure everything is in order. And people should fear Samoa Joe because not only is he kind of a veteran of the NXT, but he is now an assistant and he's better. He's back. He's better than ever. 2 months, guys, 2 months since he was released. April 15th, he was released. Yesterday, 2 months. They brought him back. And Triple H, you could thank NXT or you could thank Triple H. Thank you, Triple H, for bringing back Samoa Joe. If it wasn't for Triple H bringing back Samoa Joe, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't. So I'm happy he's back. Now we need to commence Aleister Black return, and we need to likely maybe bring back Braun Strowman. But I'm not sure. We need Aleister Black back. We do. We need it. We need him back. There is many things to talk about here, but we should really talk about the Great American Bash. We need to talk about how the Great American Bash is coming soon. It is coming very soon. The Great American Bash is coming to NXT, and I think, let me just check the date. I think it's the 6th, they said. The 6th. Coming back. Let me just check it right here. Three weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We will have 3 weeks we will have Great American Bash. And I need to also exclaim something out here. We're not gonna have I'm gonna predict. Well, actually, here's the thing to make it more simpler. I cannot predict Great American Bash because obviously back then, Great American Bash was a pay-per-view. Well, Great American Bash is happening in 3 weeks, and there is nothing that there's nothing on Sunday. Usually, if there was a pay-per-view, Great American Bash would be on Sunday, and I would be able to predict it. Since, of course, that is not happening, I cannot predict Great American Bash because it's happening on that Tuesday, which is, again, NXT's, so they do something fancy with it. Of course, we only know one match, so if they get the whole match set up for, I guess, NXT Great American Bash, there will be something set for that time. So, to say the least, I cannot predict Great American Bash. What I can do, though, is watch it and fill you in on what happened at Great American Bash and what I think is going to happen at Great American Bash and all that goodness. So, on the 7th of July, I will fill you in on Great American Bash. I'll even put the Great American Bash thumbnail up on there, and that is what will occur. The Raw, not my favorite. The NXT, very good show. Honestly, I think NXT is the B show, SmackDown's the A show, and well, Raw is just the D minus show. Anyway, I think that we are good to go for SmackDown next week. I hope you guys liked the live stream. This was a Raw NXT review. I will be back next week to do this again, and Saturday we'll be talking Logic for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I will be predicting the matches there. I will be excited to fill you guys up with SmackDown. Again, my Twitter, I'll even leave it I'll pin it here in the comments. You guys know my Twitter. Find me on Twitter, and I will predict um I'll probably update you guys if anything on there. So end it here. Have a good day. Enjoy your guys. This is Wednesday. I will be back Saturday to live stream. If anything pops up, like any news, I'll probably update then. But until then, this was Raw NXT Reviews. Thank you guys so much.